It's that time of year again. The transfer window is coming up, guys, and I love it. I get so excited for not just the winter transfer window, but mainly the summer, because this is where the big moves happen. And I've got to be honest, guys, they call it silly season for a reason. It's going to be, I think, one of the most intense and craziest summer transfer windows that we've had since, well, maybe the Neymar saga to PSG, which even today, that transfer still shapes what we see today. Now, first of all, before we get into it, of course, I know you're expecting a career mode video. I've had a really tough few days up here mentally, and I just need to break away from playing FIFA and making FIFA videos. I might just take a couple more days. We'll see. I might be good tomorrow. I want to do something that actually excites me, and talking about transfers is something I've done every 6 months pretty much, every time a window opens. So hopefully you guys are okay with that. The MGH United career mode is going nowhere. It's just maybe a couple of days, just so I can kind of reset. I haven't been very well recently. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I had COVID. It was definitely COVID, and my wife got it after me, and she lost her taste and all that stuff. It didn't hit me too hard, but then I felt like I had like a second wave, and I've just been just so fatigued and just not feeling well. So a video like this is obviously a lot easier, and it's something I'm interested in right now. So we are going to jump into the first transfer rumour. And what I want to do in this episode is cover basically the main ones. And it's not to show you the transfers, because I know a lot of people will be watching this and going, oh, McAllister to Liverpool. Yeah, I've heard about this one. But it's more about my opinions on these transfers and whether I think that they're good ideas or not for those clubs. So we'll start off with World Cup winning McAllister. I like McAllister. I think he is one of Brighton's best player. If not, is he their best player? That's a tough one. I think him, Caicedo, it's a tough call. I think both players could be leaving. We're not talking about Caicedo today, though, because right now McAllister apparently is very close to joining Liverpool. And this, maybe I should give each one a rating kind of out of 10. 10 being it's a perfect fit, 0 being this should not be happening. Obviously, in just my humble opinion, McAllister to Liverpool, I think is a very solid 7 or 8 out of 10. I think McAllister could go to any of the top clubs around Europe. I actually think, okay, if Man City lost Gundogan this summer, which I think is a possibility, he is literally the perfect player to slot into that Man City midfield. But I think Liverpool is probably the next best option. They don't need a defensive-minded midfielder. They've got Fabinho in there. They've got Henderson. They've got Bacecic. Oh, I hate saying that name. It's a little bit of a weird one, but he's definitely a defensive midfielder that's going to be one for the future. So they need someone that's kind of a bit more of an attacking threat, someone that's maybe a bit more of a Thiago-esque player. And I think McAllister is going to fit that Liverpool side very well if it happens. So, yeah, I'm going to give this a solid 7 or 8 out of 10. The only thing I would say is I don't think he's the most physical. And when I say that, I don't mean because he's not 6'4" and really strong. I don't see him as a Klopp-type player necessarily. Maybe it's just me. He's definitely got a good work rate, but I don't see him maybe fulfilling that incredible team ethic that Liverpool have had over the years, but I think they've lost that a little bit. Maybe they are going to be shifting into more of a less just run, chase down the ball, bringing in someone like McAllister who can still do that, but maybe not to an elite level, just someone that's really clever on the ball. And I think that is definitely a good move. We'll move on into the next transfer, and this is his replacement, and this looks like it is done already. We've got De Hood from Dortmund going to Brighton for free. Now this, I think, might be an 8 or a 9 out of 10. I actually really like De Hood, and this is kind of like the FIFA brain. This is the FIFA brain inside of me, because over the years, I've actually signed De Hood for a few career modes, and I just love that type of midfielder. And I just think McAllister leaving, and maybe Caicedo as well, and bringing in De Hood, and there is another player they're looking at, which we'll talk about, it's almost perfect, and they're not spending a penny. I'm sure there's a sign-on fee. I'm sure his contract will be quite high. He's at Dortmund. He's probably on good money. But for a free signing with his experience, I think he's, 28, 29 now? Or he's almost that kind of age. Honestly, I actually can't think of a better deal. Absolutely incredible business from Brighton once again, and that is the reason they've done so well recently. It's not just De Zerbi and Graham Potter getting them playing good football over the last few seasons. It is smart transfers. It is reinvesting money that they're making from sales like Cucurella and Caicedo and McAllister going for God knows how much money. I mean, they could be getting 150 million plus for both those players combined, I mean. So fair play. Dahoud is a really good signing. But another one they're looking at is Milner. Again, free signing. Now, this would be another kind of 8 or 9 deal for me out of 10. But I think because of Milner's age, it does bring it down a little bit. He's definitely a 1-season signing, maybe. I don't know if he's got 2 or 3 seasons left in him, but maybe he does. Maybe at the elite level of playing for Liverpool, although they're in the Europa League next season, being in the Champions League over the last few years, I don't think he could continue that for much longer. And I think taking a slight step back in his career and going to someone like Brighton, who are chasing European football and looking like they are going to be at least up there next season again, I think it's a really good signing. It's a really good deal for James Milner. So I think I'd give this one maybe a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Big fan of James Milner. What you're getting is versatility. And what do Brighton do so well? They have players that can play everywhere. And I think James Milner will go down as one of the best signings they can make as well. Him and Dahoud coming in for Caicedo and McAllister, or maybe just one of those players leaving, is very, very smart business. We'll move on into the next one, and we've got Aubameyang. What happened? What happened? I don't know. Obviously, it went sour at Arsenal. I'm an Arsenal fan, and I saw it happening, and I knew that unfortunately for Aubameyang, who was such a good player, one of the best players we've had in the Emirates era, I knew it was kind of done for him. And he went to Barcelona, and he kind of revitalised his career a little bit, and he was doing quite well there. And then out of nowhere, no hard feelings, he turns up at Chelsea. He does a bit of a Fabregas. And it in a funny way, I guess, from an Arsenal fan's perspective, it has not worked. He has definitely failed to live up to any hype. And it looks like he's going back to Barcelona in the summer if they can sort out their FFP and all of the salary issues they've got at Barcelona. But do you know what? I don't hate Aubameyang. It went sour. You could see that Arteta didn't favour him towards the end. He wasn't a good captain for Arsenal. I stand by that. He should have never been made captain, in my opinion. The new contract he signed, not too much of a problem with that because he was such an important player for us. But to give him the captain's armband and to make him the leader of the squad when he just isn't a leader, in my opinion. I don't know the guy personally. I'm sure he's such a great guy in real life, but it didn't work. And then to end up at Chelsea and just suffer like he has, I'm kind of relieved that he's going to go back to Barcelona because I think, as a second striker, with Lewandowski being the main guy, I think Aubameyang's going to come on and score goals. And I think La Liga is probably where he needs to be. So I hope this move goes through. Now, this one is a little bit of a sad one for me because, God, if you asked me a couple of years ago that Xhaka would be one of my favourite players at the club and he would have a huge turnaround and that I would be sad that he eventually leaves, I would have laughed at you. I couldn't believe that we kept on with Xhaka despite what happened against Palace and all of the red cards and the issues and the fact that he was such a liability with that lack of pace. And now I'm sad because he's leaving. He is going to Bayer Leverkusen. He's going to link up with Xabi Alonso. And I tell you what, he's going to be great for them. And I'm sad about it. I really am. I think Granit Xhaka has been, it's a bit of a love story, isn't it? Is that the right term? He was loved, hated, and loved. He first joined, did very well at the start of his Arsenal career, despite, the aggression and the red cards and stuff like that. And then, of course, he had his very famous viral moment where he stormed off the pitch, threw the captain's armband on the floor and whatever. And that was it. I mean, if you ask any Arsenal fan right there and then, it would have been a goodbye, Xhaka, thank you, goodbye. And then this season has been the complete opposite. He's been a hero. He has played in a new role and he's got some admirers. I think he's at that age now where he's got one last move in his career and clearly he feels like the Arsenal dream is over. But I also have heard that this is partly to do with family reasons, that his partner or wife wants to move back to Germany. So it could be a few things at play here, but I think the biggest thing is we all know and we've all heard that Arsenal are looking to reinforce in his position. And I think he knows that maybe it is time to go, make the wife happy, happy wife, happy life, and get that last big move. And going to Bayer Leverkusen, who for sure with Xabi Alonso have been incredible. So fair play. I will miss Granit Xhaka, I really do. But if we bring in a certain Declan Rice, I will feel a lot better about it. I was always going to talk about this one. I haven't been giving some of these a rating, sorry for that. But Declan Rice coming to Arsenal is a genuine 9, 10 out of 10. I can't think of a better player to come in for Granit Xhaka because we will lose a leader. We will lose a player that can play a defensive and also an attacking side to our game. Declan Rice, is literally, I think, a step up in that exact role. I think, and I know Declan Rice plays as a DM for West Ham, but the way he gets forward and scores important goals for West Ham, he scored in the last game, there's something that I think Declan Rice hasn't done with his game yet, and that is be forced into a slightly more advanced position. I think Mikel Arteta playing Declan Rice in that Granit Xhaka role could be genius. I'm telling you, okay, clip it. If we get Declan Rice, he will become one of the best midfielders, if not the best midfielder in the Premier League within a few seasons. He's close already, I think, in his position. He's already one of the best defensive players in his position in the league, for sure. But the problem is, he's not just linked with Arsenal. Bayern apparently really want him. Whether that's got something to do with Kimmich leaving, I don't know. They don't want to lose Kimmich, I'm sure. But Rice could go to Chelsea. He could go to Manchester United. He could go to Liverpool. He could go to Man City. He could go anywhere, Madrid, but I want him so bad at Arsenal. If you told me that we could only sign one player this window, it would be Declan Rice. I think it is a 9. I don't think you can have a perfect signing. I think 9 out of 10. Give me Declan Rice. Now, Madrid heavily linked with Bellingham. Of course, Bellingham has lit the world on fire over the last few years. This guy is truly special. I think England are very lucky to have Declan Rice and Bellingham. I think they're both going to be such important players internationally and also at club level. And I think Bellingham going to Real Madrid is truly incredible. What a brave guy. Can I just say, it's not common to have English players go abroad like this. And it's becoming more and more popular and more common seeing players like him, Tomori, Abraham, there's a few others, of course, but Bellingham going to Real Madrid is massive. I don't know what the fee's going to be. It's going to be at least 150 million though, isn't it? Dortmund are going to get an absolute paycheck. And they invested in someone that everyone knew would be good, but didn't know how good. And he is something else. I think him at Real Madrid could be on another level. He really could. But part of me is sad that he's not coming to the Premier League. I would have loved to have seen him join. Well, would I have loved it? Maybe not. But seeing him join Liverpool, I wouldn't have been necessarily upset about that. I would have loved to seen him in the Premier League, and it still could happen, but it does seem like Real Madrid are going to be getting Bellingham. But also, his little brother's on the move as well. He is leaving Birmingham. He is confirmed, I think it's pretty much done. He's joining Sunderland, who of course just missed out on promotion this year. They were knocked out in the playoffs. They should never have been there, let's be honest. Sunderland have been a surprise this season, and I think, is it Job Bellingham? I think he's going to be a very good player for them. Are they going to retire the number 27? I hope not. It's going to be difficult for him to kind of step out of that shadow. You know, his older brother has created waves. You know, he's the best young player in the world, some say. And I just don't know if his little bro is going to be able to at least go towards that standard, if not anywhere near it. But he can obviously try his best. And I think Sunderland is a good move. They play great football. They're a young team. And I think they'll make it into the Premier League next season. And then maybe we will have a Bellingham in the Premier League. But then lastly, guys, or is it? I think this might be the second to last one. We've got Madison. Now, Leicester looks certain to be going down, which blows my mind. I almost want to make a separate video just talking about Leicester and what's happened. How are Leicester going down? They won the league a couple of years ago. They just have not invested well. I think, you know, with the owner sadly passing away in that helicopter accident, and of course, COVID really hit their main sponsors, King Power, you know, the owner died, of course, and Yeah, just really tough on Leicester over the last few seasons. But with their individual players, there was no way this should have happened. But they are going to get picked apart now. There are so many good talents. Harvey Barnes is one of them, and Didi. But Madison is the player to get, and it seems Newcastle want him, and I think he would be electric under Eddie Howe. I'm telling you now, if Madison goes to Newcastle, I think he will become one of the best players in that position. I really, really like Madison. It wasn't long ago that Arsenal were linked with him, Manchester United were linked with him, Liverpool could probably make do with him now. I think he's going to go to Newcastle. I just feel like this is one of those moves that is bound to happen, and that would be kind of an 8 or 9 out of 10 signing. I really do believe that. And then lastly, Mason Mount. What is going on here? I thought he was a Chelsea lad. It's unbelievable, really. So he's heavily linked with a move away. Liverpool seem to be the most likely. And then there was rumours of Arsenal and the fact that Arsenal want him and his best mate, Declan Rice. They're best mates, by the way. Rice and Mason Mount are very, very close friends. It wouldn't surprise me if they eventually play in the same team. But as of today, as I'm making this video, it seems Manchester United are the most likely destination for Mason Mount, which is an interesting one. I think he could be very good. I really do. I think Manchester United need a player like Mason Mount. I think, Fernandes has done a great job this season being that creative force. But in terms of next to Fernandes, Bruno, whatever you want to call him, and Casemiro, when Eriksen isn't fit, they struggle. McTominay, Fred, not quite at the level of Mount. And I'm not saying that Mount is at an incredibly high level, because I don't think he is. I just think he has a huge ceiling. I think he could be incredible. So where he goes, we'll find out soon enough. I think Manchester United could be a pretty good fit, but it wouldn't surprise me if out of nowhere he ends up going with McAllister to Liverpool. I know Jurgen Klopp could do a lot with a brand new midfield, basically. But that's it, guys. My first transfer video of this window. There's going to be more to come, and when rumours are out there, I'll talk about them. But I don't want it to be just me saying, these are the latest rumours, because anyone can go on transfermarkt.com and have a look. I want to give my opinions on it, and I want to talk about the players themselves and how I think they'll fit. So hopefully that'll be a little bit more interesting. But thank you for watching. Thank you for being patient with me regarding career mode. I'm on the mend. Okay, I am feeling a little bit better today. I've got the energy to make this video at least, which is 16, 17 minutes long. It's really tough when you're not feeling yourself to be on camera. I'm hoping people understand that. I think a lot of people just say, just make a video. But honestly, it's not easy. But thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.